my
I
goodness.
am beyond excited.
I'm so happy to share this with you.
I think this might be the best find.
What is it that I'm
I'm
holding?
sure most of you have seen it before. I like it already.
Just a cube.
It is called the Color Cube.
Color
Cube.
This is a cool product.
And it is my new obsession.
Over 1,200 cubes sold.
It still blows my mind.
I cannot rave about this enough.
Sometimes you, ooh, look at that.
This palette here, like, matches this dress.
So many different color palettes.
I'll bump you up to S for
Well,
that.
we had no idea that this would be, people would be so interested in this.
Now let's go through the cons.
The only thing.
Get this card out.
That's probably gonna bug
I
me.
can't do this.
It's time for a redesign. Redesigning a product after it's already out in the world comes with some risks. For one, all the development, the prototypes, and the process in making the changes takes time and money. Then there's the question of timing. If we've still got hundreds of unsold color cubes when we launch a new version, they might never sell. But if we wait to sell out of this stock before making the updates, then we might have people waiting for months for back orders. There are a lot of ways that this can go wrong, and people love this as it is, so maybe it doesn't need to change. But if I can get this right, we could take something that's already helpful to so many people and make it even better. The Color Cube has helped so many people find confidence in choosing colors that look good. But among all the wonderful reviews and feedback, there's a pattern of comments all pointing out the same thing. The cards are hard to remove, and it's frustrating not having some kind of index. So what are my options here? This box and these cards were actually designed to be much smaller when I was first trying to work out what the color cube would be. When you stack 250 cards at this thickness, they won't fit in a small box. My manufacturer's suggestion was to make this box into a rectangle. But I wanted a cube. So we made the box bigger, but when the first prototype arrived, the cards looked really small in comparison. So we made the cards bigger too. And now it does mean it's pretty tightly packed, and I don't want to change the size of the box or the size of the cards, so I need to find another way to solve this problem.
Right.
Cardboard paper cut. All right. Oh. The new Color Cube, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So I have spent a bit more time playing around with both of these options to try and work out what is the best height for the cards to sit to be easy to grab, easy to flip. This version also gives us room that we can actually even use the lid as like a second box to kind of spread them out to make them easier to kind of go back and forth. I did want to leave a little bit extra room because there's something else I want to do, and that is add some tabs. Obviously these are not what the tabs are going to look like. I need to kind of see how thick they would be when added to this, because actually the whole reason that this cube is the size that it is because of the thickness of all of these cards. And adding more tabs isn't an option in the current cube at all. But if we have 11 categories, this actually might work. There we go. This does, however, present a completely new problem, which was a problem when I first designed the cube and the reason why I didn't do tabs in the first place, and that is that the tabs get squished on the lid. So that's where lowering this all just a little bit more gives it enough room that the tabs can sit up, and hopefully the tabs won't get destroyed by the lid. Now I'll get this to Shane so that he can discuss with the manufacturer and hopefully make us a better prototype. Thanks. Look at that. Where are the cards? And here are the new category tabs. These look so good. They've got all of the color palettes shown from the category on one side, and on the back, we've got the numbers so that you can easily match them up, get them back in the right spot, and they make a beautiful little rainbow. And there's an instruction card you can use as a bookmark. This is a big change, and if I'm going this far, I also want to take this opportunity to make some other improvements. One of the biggest challenges in designing the first color cube was transitioning from the digital version to a physical version, because color gets complicated when you move from screen to print. Screens work in RGB based on light, and CMYK are inks in your printer. And while you can roughly convert between them, there are some colors that you just can't print, and other colors that will never show the same on a screen. Originally, I designed all of these to be RGB. They were designed to be a part of a PDF resource, and so converting them all to print-ready CMYK meant that some of the brighter colors just didn't look quite the same. The hex codes on the back are also a digital number, so these match perfectly to the original RGB numbers, but less so to the new color on these physical cards. They were close, but I wanted to see if I could make them closer. And fixing this would mean redesigning every single card. But if there was ever a time to do it, this is that time. So the first thing I did was go back to my original files and rebuild every palette in CMYK. Then I collected all those numbers into a spreadsheet and was able to convert them all to RGB and to a slightly more accurate hex code. But hex codes aren't the only thing on the back of these cards. These color names came from the original color catalog, where I was trying to make an easier way to find similar colors. I spent hours staring at every color from the original palettes, trying to match them into the most logical groups of similar colors without ending up with too many different categories. And that led to the color groups that are printed on the original cards. And also led to confusion from some of my customers when two different colors had the same color name. This project is like a million tangents all pulled into one, and assigning color names was a much bigger project than I planned. I hunted the web and gathered common color names from many different sources to try to build what would become my ultimate color name database. I cross-referenced different sources, did Google search after Google search, and manually sorted through over 9,000 different color references. I was trying to identify what were the most commonly recognized names for every color that I could imagine. And it was quite the rabbit hole. Okay, some of these are easy, and there are 10 different websites all referencing the same hex code. I've got Wikipedia, Royal Colors, Australian Standard, British Standard, USA Standard, the official registry of colors, Pantone, the Natural Color System, HTML Colors. These are all different, and some are proprietary systems that I can't actually use. And then there's this XKCD survey, and the results are all wildly different to each other. Should I call this aubergine or eggplant? Cyan and aqua are the exact same hex code. Nobody can agree on the exact color for beige. It seems like a lot of the names invented by Crayola have just become the most known names for these colors. Okay, but which of these are actually forest green? Is this beige? Is this also beige? There are a lot of different golds and goldens here. Okay, this is lavender and this is lavender, but which is the real lavender? Seems crazy to me that there is not one universal system for color names. This is magenta. But this is magenta dye. But this is Pantone's magenta. And this is also magenta. And fuchsia is also just magenta? No. What I thought would be a few nights of sorting colors turned into 2 months. But finally, I have locked in a final set of 541 colors, spread out across the color spectrum and covering many of the subtle variations between colors. Now, I just have to match them back to the colors in my cards. I was not going to relive my first approach of doing this by eye. This time, I used the same algorithm that I used in the Lightfast testing to more accurately assign every color from every card to the nearest matching color. Being able to build this color name database was a huge win, not just for the names on these cards, but for some of the other new things that I will be showing you soon. So yes, it took a few months, but I'm fascinated by everything color, so I enjoyed every moment of it. I'm spending a lot of time fixing these hex codes, and some of these palettes are like, don't really want these in the cube anymore. If I was going to swap any out, this would be the time to do it. Okay, to think practically for a moment, if I'm wanting to do tabs, I need to rethink the categories. I can't have a category based on the Pantone spring color trends of 2019. You know what else? People have been asking for another volume for a long time. What if I did do another volume? That would allow me to actually make a lot more palettes, but maybe even fix the categories a bit on these ones. And everything I've built, like the companion and the catalog and all of that, is like bundle. If I make another one, then it's kind of just like out on its own. Unless I make another bundle and I make 3 and 4 at the same time, but that's like 500 more palettes I have to make. I could be like looking at a whole year's work. I then need to make the companions as well and the catalogs. They were like 40 hours per brand. Oh, hang on. No, I've just redone all those hex codes. I'm gonna have to redo all of those anyway. Oh no, I didn't even think of that. I'm gonna have to rebuild all that stuff. The problem is if I'm doing the categories, like the categories in number 1 don't make sense. I can't just add category tabs to these because the category itself is outdated. If I had have started this from scratch, knowing that these were gonna be like a collection, I never would have picked these categories. What I've already created is actually limiting. I actually don't know how else I can fix this. And I feel like, would it be bad to just start over? Oh. I've already changed all the hex codes. I'm already changing the box. I could make this so much better if I wasn't tied into the categories that I first created. If I just start fresh and take everything that I've learned, I can build a really good color cube that actually meets the need of what everyone wants. Changing the categories also does mean these numbers are all gonna change. This is a lot more changes than what I was planning, but the idea of getting a second chance at this is actually really exciting. This is gonna make this a really good product. There's one last thing I think I want to change, and that's the colors on the box itself. The original color cube box was inspired by the CMYK color model, a concept that has been around for over 100 years. I liked that I was basically able to include the whole rainbow on the box and that you could use this to help find more gradients and color combinations as well. But nobody seems to use it for this. And instead, it just meant the volume 1 and volume 2 kind of hard to tell apart. So maybe it might actually be a good opportunity to redesign these too. It turns out it's actually really complicated to try and design a gradient that wraps around a 3D box. After trying several different ways to do this, I ended up getting some help to create this in Blender so that I could change each corner, see how it would affect the other colors, and then use these as references back in Illustrator. Once again, I find myself wishing that I knew how to use Blender. I should really learn Blender. Once I had my boxes designed, it was a case of translating them back to the actual print files and hoping I didn't have half my box upside down. And finally, after another round of prototypes, everything was ready for manufacturing. They're finally here. Unboxing. This is my most exciting unboxing of the year. Look at that. Oh, it looks so good with the belly band on it. These are the new volume 1 and volume 2. So we've got this wonderful new belly band now so that eventually if we get this into some shops, you can actually see on the outside that there are cards inside. It's got the steps on it, it's got the collection on it, and on the inside, it's got a bit more of visual instructions on how to use it. But what I didn't tell you is the boxes are wooden now. This is gonna make them last so much longer because this is wooden with a paper finish, unlike the first one that was actually made entirely out of paper. But it's time for the exciting part. All right, inside this envelope are our brand new category tabs and beautiful instructions. I kept these in an envelope so that they would stay in good condition and wouldn't get squished if the whole thing moved around a bit. This should keep them looking really good. This is still tighter than I probably would have liked in an ideal world, but the only way to fix this would have been to either make the cards thinner or make the box bigger or take away some palettes, none of which I wanted to do. But the categories do make it a lot easier because you can just pull out a whole category. And if you really want the extra space, the lid now doubles as a second box. The envelopes also include the number stickers, so if you want, you can put a number 1 on volume 1, a number 2 on volume 2, or like me, you can just leave them all without numbers because they're kind of pretty as is. The new category cards are so much easier to go through it all. They have all the palettes on one side, all the numbers on the other side. It'll be so much easier to keep this in order and to quickly find the one you're looking for. And this instruction card, you can also use it as a bookmark anywhere else. So you don't have to do what I usually do and like put a card on the side. You can just actually use the bookmark. I can't wait to see the black ones. Whoa. I really like how the colors come with the black. Oh, I love this one. Look at that. It's so much teal. It's almost got like a neon aspect to it because of the black. Oh, I love all the new cards. I mean, I know I'm the one that made them, and so that's probably not right to say, but seeing them in person is just so cool. These cakes. No wonder my cards always end up out of order. Is this a cyberpunk category? Yes. Oh, I love that one. That one too. Neon, look at that. Oh, I love this color combination with the black. Oh, and then the fantasy section. This is probably one of the sections I was the most excited about, this collection. That's so pretty. So you might have noticed a lot of UK spelling sneaking in. And this is something that when I first made this and when I made a lot of my products, 90% of the people who followed me and watched me and went on my website were all in America. But I'm in Australia. And it feels like I'm going against my roots to spell American, even though it's what I've done for so long. But I also know that the Color Cube has built such a name in America. And so it would be a shame to suddenly flip. And so what a good opportunity to do both. So now if you're in America, you get gray spelt with an A. And if you're in the rest of the world, you get gray spelt with an E. Color with the U, color without the U, everybody wins. This is not even the biggest thing I've been working on. In fact, I've shown a bunch of artists and creators what I'm about to show you, and they all agreed that this is going to be something that will help every artist, even if you don't use color palettes. So let me show you your new color companion. Take everything that we already built in the color catalog, every palette, every color name, every hex code, all the other codes, and make them easier to browse. Include hundreds more colors, better categories, and you can filter down the searches to multiple things. So instead of just looking for a yellow palette, you can include all the palettes with any type of yellow and narrow it further to palettes labeled festive. And when you find one you like, you can save it as a favorite or see other similar palettes. But that's just the beginning. Imagine if you could take that color palette and instantly match it to your supplies. I tried to build this with the original color companion, but I was doing all the work manually. So it took 40 hours to add one brand and it wasn't perfect. But what if we could use maths to help? Instead of relying on subjective opinions, I'm going to be using a color matching formula to calculate exactly which color in your set is the closest possible color to the colors in your palette. And while we're at it, let's not just make this possible for the color palettes. Let's make this an option for any color. Select a color from the color wheel or type in the hex code and you'll find the best match for your supplies. So this is already a massive step up from what the original color cube and companion could do. And it will mean I could easily add more brands as long as we can get the color information from the manufacturers or even scan in our own samples. I'm thinking we add every pencil we can think of, markers, paints, watercolors, inks and dyes, DMC threads, yarn, paper, maybe even house paints. If there's a product with a color range that we can measure, we can add it. But what more could this do? I've already built a huge database of color names, so this would be an amazing resource to add so that you can explore every color name and even use those to then find the color palettes or just to find more about the colors. So when I'm exploring a color, what else is useful? I'm thinking every color should allow me to see all the different codes like CMYK, hex, RGB, lab, but also to easily see the darker and lighter shades and maybe the warm and cool variations and color harmonies. And from there, you could explore those colors too. We can build a color wheel that allows you to select any color, and it can show you the closest color name from our database, and then a mini section that matches the art supplies here too. And if we're adding brands and supplies for color matching, maybe they can be explored too. You can see your brand, see the set, even find links to buy, but I think we can make this even more useful. Imagine you're using alcohol markers and you want to find the closest matching pencil to layer on top. What if you could take any brand and find the perfect matching color in any other brand? We are building all of this. And this is just with a free account.
Oh my goodness. That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Holy moly.
That is huge.
That's so cool.
I love how you have every type of harmony there.
Wow, that's really cool.
I'm just thinking of height markers, and you can spend ages just right which one, or maybe my other set, or maybe this set's a bit closer. That's going to be a big time saver. That's very exciting.
Oh my god, the value breakdown is so helpful for painting. That's so good. It reminds me, you know, when you're trying to find a foundation shade and you can go and try and find a match between brands, this is that, but for art supplies.
So let's talk about what comes in the paid options. First, if you've bought a digital color cube, you will unlock your whole library of palettes within all these other features. You'll be able to export your palettes as a PDF, just like the original color catalog, and you'll be able to export palettes for Procreate or for Photoshop. But whether or not you've bought the digital color cube, you can also access bonus features through a subscription. Free users will be able to save favorites, but premium users will be able to also make custom collections. You can build different sets of color palettes or even just some colors, so that you can quickly come back to your favorites or set aside a group for a particular project.
Love it.
Oh, I love that.
I'm flabbergasted that that is possible.
My saved browser tabs will thank you forever.
When you're matching a color, the color companion will also show you an alternative match, being the next closest color. And imagine if it could help you to mix colors too. Pencils, paints, markers, and inks all actually mix differently. Some are opaque, some need layering, and they all need different maths. So we're building it. You'll be able to see two colors from your set in matches of either half-half or in quarters, so that you can get even closer to the color you're trying to match than if you used what was available in the set alone.
That's ambitious. I know it's going to be huge and it's going to help a lot of people.
With all the art supplies we're planning to add, going back and forth might slow you down, so premium users will be able to build their own pencil case, their own art stash. Your art stash can include all of the supplies that you own in real life, and not just the full sets, because we don't all own the full sets. If you've bought the 24 set of Prismacolor and a bunch of open stock pencils, you can add exactly what you own. If a marker runs out, you can remove it, so your online stash can perfectly match your IRL stash, even down to the color order.
Yes. Yes.
This is how I keep my paints. So if I can get them in order, like
to organize your supplies and be able to access them quicker.
Because I know I have like my 12 favorite colors that I use in watercolors. And so you can have those be favorited or up towards the top as far as frequency. That's great.
Everything I own in my drawers, being able to put it in there, I'll be able to organize it in there, and I'll be able to organize my drawers.
So now every other tool on the website can reflect your art stash.
That would be great for when you go shopping too, so you know what you have and what you need.
But there's one thing still missing. Imagine swatch sheets designed by you. Your set, your order, ready to print. Or conversion charts with an easy access chart of all of your supplies from a certain color range. My team and I have created a few templates to start, but this is something that we will keep adding to. Is that everything? Did I cover everything?
That's a lot. You were gonna say that's it, but it's a lot. I can't think of anything that's missing.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna change the art game. I can just imagine this being people's, I don't know, like their Bible in a way for their art supplies.
This is something we've been building for months, and it's not quite ready. But if you join my email list, I will let you know as soon as you can try it for yourself. I will be looking for more brands to add and more features to include over time, because this is just version 1. And I'm sure that there is more that we can do to make this the best color companion online.
Every time you do something, it's so professionally done. It's so thorough. I don't know how you do it. It's so incredible.
The new color cubes are available now, and the online color companion is coming very soon. You can find out more about everything and order now at my website, sarahreneeclark.com. I can't wait to see the color cubes in your hands.